What really brought down the Roman Empire? Was it barbarians at the gates? A string of terrible emperors? Maybe it was lead poisoning from their water pipes. For centuries, historians have debated this, and the truth is, there's no single, simple answer. It wasn't one event, but a perfect storm of problems that eroded the empire from the inside out over hundreds of years. Let's start with the classic culprit: invasions. For a long time, Rome was a military powerhouse, expanding and conquering, but eventually that expansion stopped. The empire became huge, with thousands of miles of border to defend. Groups like the Goths, Vandals, and Huns started putting immense pressure on these frontiers. Constant warfare was incredibly expensive. It drained the treasury and required a massive army, which led to another huge problem: political instability.
Let's think about it.
In just a 50-year period during the 3rd century, Rome had over 20 different emperors. Most of them were assassinated or killed in battle. With so much chaos at the top, it was impossible to have consistent leadership or long-term policies. Generals with loyal armies would march on Rome to seize power, creating endless civil wars. The empire was tearing itself apart. This constant turnover in leadership meant no one was really steering the ship. The political system was broken, and people lost faith in their government. Then there was the economy. It was in a death spiral. To pay for the army and the lavish lifestyles of the elite, emperors started devaluing their currency. They would mint new coins with less silver in them. This caused rampant inflation. Imagine your money becoming worth less and less every day. Prices for everyday goods skyrocketed. Trade routes that once brought wealth into the empire became unsafe due to constant conflict. The rich got richer by hiding their wealth in large country estates, and the poor got poorer, crushed by heavy taxes and unable to find work. This created a massive gap between the rich and poor, fueling social unrest. The economic engine of the empire was sputtering and dying. But it wasn't just about money and wars. There were also deep social changes happening. The rise of Christianity played a role, though historians debate how much. The new faith shifted people's loyalties away from the emperor and the traditional Roman gods. Some argue it created a more passive population, less willing to fight for the empire. Also, plague swept through the empire, devastating the population. A smaller population meant fewer taxpayers, fewer farmers, and fewer soldiers. The empire was literally shrinking from disease. And what about that lead poisoning theory? While Romans did use lead in their pipes and cooking pots, most historians today don't see it as a primary cause. It might have contributed to health problems, but it wasn't the knockout blow. It's one small piece of a much larger, more complex puzzle. So when we ask why Rome fell, the answer is everything. It was a domino effect. Military overreach led to economic crisis, which led to political instability, which was worsened by social decay and disease. There was no single cause, but a slow, painful decay over centuries. The fall in 476 AD, when the last Western Roman emperor was deposed, wasn't a sudden collapse. It was more like the last flicker of a candle that had been burning low for a very long time. The story of Rome's fall is a powerful lesson in how even the mightiest empires can crumble when their foundations, political, economic, and social, begin to crack. What do you think was the biggest factor? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, make sure to like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.